Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 198. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by our guest, and for the last time, the Rental Man Buck.
Why last?
Oh, we're done after 200. I retired from YouTube.
Okay.
Well,
It's a sad day.
Huh? Yeah.
It's a sad day.
It happened a while ago, actually, but we'll roll the intro and I'll explain. One of these, not like the other. This might be loud. Yes, I'm done. I gave up.
Gave up.
Gave up.
Well, that's
quit.
one way to look at it.
Well, I ran out of ideas. Realistically, is actually what happened. I was looking at my ideas board, and it wasn't getting longer. It was just getting shorter and shorter, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any more ideas that I could throw on said board. And I'm like,
You're at a Spotter Studio.
No.
It's a new hub thing that it was compiled between a bunch of creators. Dude Perfect was one of them. Or at least they're a big one that backs it. And it basically helps with AI generation of video ideas, thumbnails, titles, things that you could just give it the keyword and it can kind of at least help you out with it.
Right.
And if you click on the stuff, if you get the trial stuff through the video that it was, you can get it free for like 60 days before you would have to actually start paying for it. So it'd be something that if you wanted to try it out and see whether or not it could give you any sort of an inspiration, if you just got keywords of whatever you do. I actually picked it up like a week or two ago because I did the math. It's been gonna be able to get me through to the last week of December. And if I get a video or two ahead of it, then I can do it through the end of the year and then start of 2025. If it's been working, whether it gives me the titles or it gives me whatever I do else, it's mainly going to be used for titles because I'm terrible with titles.
Oh, yeah. Titles.
Justifying it, I could see whether or not it's worth what it's going to cost a month. I think it's like almost $50 a month. But for what you'd be using it for, if it's the primary object, then I can see it. If I'm doing a video and I can get one to pop off for 30,000-40,000 views, it's like it pays for the month on its own.
Is it any different than just using ChatGPT?
Well, it's basically centered around like the TikTok and YouTube. I mean, if ChatGPT can do it, then go ahead and use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can do it.
But this one also has
Gemini.
all the other tools as well.
Yeah.
Like the thumbnail generation, the plot or themes, however you can get ideas. I mean, if that's just something that I've been looking at, and it's actually been nice because it breaks it all down, and I could see the usage of it. But ChatGPT, if it does the same thing, then go for it.
I've seen YouTubers use ChatGPT, the other science YouTubers, but my problem.
You being the host though, what's going on here though? What are we doing today?
What? What?
What's the whole topics?
What do you mean topics? Oh, for the podcast?
I was gonna say.
Well, I was gonna keep. Well, I kind of figured that we'd talk about retirement because quitting, I guess we'll call that quitting.
You're
retirement,
retiring.
whatever.
I'm just hitting the stride.
Hey, you're hitting your stride. I was gonna talk about my
giving up party.
No, because like the other thing was, it was like, okay, I technically have ideas, but that's back to old scripted content. And scripted content just takes so damn long, and it just it's just like this grind, and you're just like, God, I hate that. And also, I spend my time better
or
just
that you have a full-time job. Like you can't it's not something that you can dedicate your time to. You have very limited allotment, and
Yeah,
when you do get that, it's like you can't put in the work that for someone like where I'm at full time doing this, I can sit here for 12 hours and work on something.
right? Or it's like when a weekend comes up and it's just like, okay, your entire weekend is going to be making YouTube videos. And you're like, I wanted to not do that. I wanted to rest. No. We gotta hit the grind. And then the summer's the worst. Because, like, there are gonna be weekends where it's like, I work and mow and volunteer. And that is my entire Saturday. That's it. So then Sunday, well, Phil comes over about 12. I don't wake up till like 9 because I'm up late, probably either doing YouTube stuff or having my actual rest time or whatever, you know. And so then I get a few hours there, which and it's like, okay. And then we do a podcast, we watch TV shows, and then, you know, I have to start getting ready for work the next day. It's like, well, that's dumb. And then in the winter, when I don't have to mow, it's like, okay, I've got more time.
A little bit easier.
Yeah, I've got more time. But what I want to do, and what I've been working on until this week. Well, this week's been the previous week, I should say. Sorry, everything's all screwed up. I've been sick for 5 days.
Oh, I don't blame you. I didn't expect October to take off the way it did just for the busyness because I decided to go from 2 videos a week plus the streams of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday mornings. Now I incorporate Saturdays, so I got to put out another one throughout the week. And one of them I do try to do once a week it's called the Grandpa one where I'm working with Austin. Well, I originally started that one as a complete joke to just kind of throw a wrench in things before the end of the year because I wanted something different. And the first one comes out and Austin messages me on Discord and he's like, hey, I need another slot for my stuff, and this would be something that we could work on together. So why don't we put something together and just go with this till the end of the game, till the next one comes out? Well, then it's the front runner. It's that and my Nebraska one, and that's one I just worked on all day today. So it's like you can't dump those the second 25 comes out because that's what's paying the bills right now. But
Right.
I have to have Austin at least once a week to do this, so I have to schedule everything around it. So on my whiteboard over here, it's like, okay, I got to do Grandpa for this Thursday because usually I try to do it Tuesday or Thursday for that one. Well, this Nebraska one now won't come out until Saturday. And then depending on when I'm able to work with FS25, I want Tuesday, Thursday next week
Right.
to be 25 because the game comes out Tuesday, so boom, boom. And then Saturday would be old school, which that's what I'm going to try and work on tomorrow because unless I have Austin tomorrow, I don't have time to record old school or any of these other ones because I'm going to be gone all week next week. So I got like technically 6 or 7 videos to. I got to do at least 6 videos before I leave next week.
I remember having to do that one time. When I have to go on trips, it sucked. Getting, like, when you go on a 10-day trip and you have to get 11, 12 shorts done ahead of time, you're like, well, this is less than ideal. Oh, it's also out of the shorts idea. That was the other thing. But no, my and also the shorts just got too much hate, and also my videos just I put a lot of effort in, but they just didn't get a lot of views out. But anyways, I've had a fever for the past 5 days. It's been brutal. Like, today's been the first day I finally felt well, and apparently I am fever-free right now. We'll check again. Maybe the ibuprofen is still running through my system.
It's still running, yeah. I had it where I came home from Husker Harvest Days and I picked up a fever of some sorts. Actually, hang on, what was this? It's November now? So I got sick in November when I came home from Husker Harvest, from September. When I came home from that, I knew by the second I walked in the door, I'm like, this is gonna be a long night. They had that. It was the one. Apparently, it was like the infant daycare thing that was going around. People were either vomiting or they were basically on the toilet 24/7 for like
Mm.
7, 8 hours at a time. Well, I went to bed at like 7 o'clock, and I was married to the porcelain, upchucking from like 8 o'clock until 5 in the morning, every 20 minutes. Oh, it was
You know
bad.
what's crazy? I keep saying this and it still hasn't happened. I haven't vomited in probably a decade.
Nice.
Actually, I think it has been a decade. I think the last time I vomited was sometime in 2014. I think that was the last time I vomited. I think honest to God, might be 11 years now. 11, almost 12. Somewhere in middle school, high school. I haven't vomited since. I have shit my brains out. That was sophomore year of college, right before COVID, just after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up the next morning and that was a rough 4 days. No
Mm-hmm.
fever. I guess I never checked my temperature. The doctors did, but I didn't have a fever. But anyways, no, this was terrible. I wasn't shooting my brains out. If anything, I was constipated. I had I had these chills constantly. And so you take Tylenol or ibuprofen before you go to bed, and you want to sleep 8 hours. Those drugs only last 6. So without fail, 4 o'clock in the morning, boom, I'm up with chills. Well, it was Saturday. I ended up going to the doctors after this because it was terrible. I was sitting there just shivering. I couldn't. It was weird though, because like my skin, I could feel my skin. The air was warm. It was warm, but my body was like, nope, we are cold. And I'm like, what is going on? I had a pair of shorts and a t-shirt on, and then on top of that, I had sweatpants and a sweatshirt, 2 blankets, and that wasn't enough. I ended up throwing a heating pad in underneath the blankets and then just hugged it. And then that finally got my body temp up to 102. And then I was able to
Nice.
fall back. I fall back asleep. I don't know if I ever went
You
back to
passed
sleep.
out to sleep.
Something. I don't know. Honest to God, it's weird. I haven't been
And
that.
then
I haven't.
I don't even remember. It was like 3 weeks later after all that went down. Man, I picked up the fever. I noticed it was going down. Like the problem whenever I get the fever is that if anything in any way, shape, or form revolves around respiratory, I'm gonna be down for the count for like the next month because I don't have
No
great
respiratory.
lungs. Like I can hold my breath, I can do all the stuff, I can exercise, I can do it. But like since I was like very, 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 very young, I've never had like lungs. So anything respiratory, and I'm out.
I haven't no respiratory symptoms because I went to the doctor Saturday because after that 4 a.m. chill session where I was just it felt like I was spasming. And I'm like, we're going on day 3, and I'm not getting better. I'm getting worse. And I'm like, Doc, what the fuck? And she basically said, oh, just keep taking the Tylenol. Well, I was like, the Tylenol doesn't work. Well, you know what? Why it doesn't work? It was expired. My Tylenol was
I know
expired.
what's wrong with it. Ain't got no drugs in it.
Half my drugs were expired. I'm like, oh. So, no.
Okay, so about you retiring and everything with why on earth things are not. I mean, the ideas obviously I can see that and the time constraints, but
I want to be a
guess
writer.
going back to it all, what's next after this for Doctor Sheep then?
I want to be a writer.
Okay,
I'm working on a novel right now.
okay,
I think the last time I wrote on it, I had just exceeded the last. So I had tried writing a novel a few years ago. It just didn't go. I was doing YouTube and writing at the same time, and I was trying to pump out 500 words a night, which is only about an hour. but I kind of got stuck. Actually, there was plenty of stuff to write about, just because I had a roadmap for the book. But I just got stuck, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to work on this project anymore. So then I decided I'm turning. Basically, it was gonna be a collection of short stories. That's only like 50,000 words you need. I'm at 37. I had already written 36 on one book. I am now at 37 on this short story collection. I'm like, oh, 50,000 is not a big deal. That's really easy. I'm at 37,000, but I'm only on the third of the third. I'm only on the third story of like 17. And I'm like,
Bro's writing a
oh,
Harry Potter novel.
huh?
Bro's writing a Harry Potter novel.
You know what's funny? Harry Potter isn't even that long for a novel. I guess Goblet of Fire's kind of long for a novel, but for the most part, they're not that long. Average novel's 110, like 110,000. That's a good length novel.
You're talking a guy that never read really hardly a day in his life. I don't read. I have read maybe 3 actual book series in my entire life. And I know one of them was Hunger Games, the other one was 39 Clues, and the last one was like Hank the Farm Dog or something. It was the whole like 15, you go to the library, you could see the whole line. They had an entire shelf dedicated to it. Other than that, I never read a book in my entire life. I don't like it. I hate reading with a passion.
It's crazy. I go and talk to people about it, and they're like, "You're writing a book?" And they're like, "I've read one book since that wasn't like required for high school or something." And they're like, "But since high school, I haven't read a book." And I'm like, "Really? I've read a few books, several
I've
books."
read parts of books. I read a lot of articles, but physically picking up a book and reading it cover to cover, I just don't do it. It's
Yeah.
not that I despise it. It's not that it's like I don't think that it's important. I just never really learned through text. I always learned or experienced or tried things in a physical manner. Like I have to go out and I have to be able to work on it.
See, I was always a big nonfiction guy, right? And so it was like fiction stuff just didn't work for me. But now that I'm writing fiction, I want to consume fiction because I use it for inspiration. And so the best way I do it is I have an Audible subscription. And so I'm listening to audiobooks all the time. Yes, I have actually read books, but I'm also listening to Audible. I'm currently going through the series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm on the 4th book, and holy shit. The first book is the funniest one. But the 4th book, to be honest, is my favorite so far. It is. But it's the shortest too. That's the annoying part. But it is wonderful.
Nectar of the Gods.
Yeah, I'm like, this is because it's just it's just a payoff after payoff after payoff. It's like he'll mention something stupid, like, why the fuck is he talking about this? He has a habit of doing that. This writer, but it's because it's a comedy. And so you're just like, why the fuck is he talking about this? Who gives a shit about this truck driver? Okay. Oh, turns
Random
out.
sidetrack, but I just realized you're wearing a Menards t-shirt and I'm already in love.
Why? With the Menards t-shirt?
Plumbing, electrical appliances too. The savings will always come right back to you. You save big money. You save big money when you shop Menards.
Bro, half my t-shirts are Menards. They have a t-shirt section. They're like $7.99.
All right, I'm going back to Menards tomorrow.
There you go.
Oh, no, actually, I might go to Menards on Wednesday because I got to go to the dentist on Wednesday.
Yeah, and
I've
they're...
been to the dentist in a year and a half.
What?
I haven't been to the dentist in like a year and a half.
Oh, boy.
Usually I used to go every 6 months.
Have fun. Make sure... Hopefully they don't find anything.
They might find something up on like this side, but I don't really have any like pain. Like if I bite down or I drink cold water, there's no. I usually do pretty good with my teeth. Yeah. Usually it's always just wear.
Oh, yeah. But, no, they got a whole t-shirt section, and it's usually pretty patriotic like this. Some of it, anyways. They had an America section back in the summer. So, I've got a few of those. It's either Davy Fireworks.
Anything else that's going on fun? You're now becoming a writer. You're retiring.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your last TGIF.
Well, with you, the last one. So the next one I'm going to try and do with Nate. I need to text him. And then the last one will be the whole gang back together again. We're going to do it in their parents' basement. Phil wanted to make it like a super long one. I'm like, the problem is I only have so much time with the GoPro because before the battery dies or before the SIM card fills up. So I'm like, Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know.
Put Will in the oven again and call it a day.
What?
Just put Will in the oven again and call it a day.
Dude, he wouldn't fit in an oven. Bro's like, he's like 6'3".
I know. Well, you could, get a commercial oven.
A commercial oven. We never did throw him in an oven. That video never got 1 million views, so nobody ever got thrown in an oven. Imagine 10 years from now, I'm gonna get a message. Hey, remember that video you made? I'm like, what video? The one about the 1 million views? And I'm like, yeah, what about it? Well, it looks like you're gonna have to throw a guy in an oven. I'm like, fuck.
At that point, Will be 6'9" and have 3 children. And
well, Will's in college now, so he's done growing. He won't be 6'9".
No, he's got till he's 25.
Oh, okay. Well, no. So he's.
I'm growing, but I'm growing more like not even wide or tall, just like Phil. Because I stopped going up like years ago. Going up was never an option after where I'm at. Growing wide is definitely an option, but we're trying to maintain that one. I'm just growing Phil.
I'm getting wider. It's the bank job. You don't move enough. That was the one thing I always liked about the college in Menards was great because Menards kept you moving, and then college you could actually, despite the fact that a club sandwich every day doesn't sound very healthy, 2 club sandwiches a day doesn't sound very healthy. Surprisingly, it's probably healthier than what I eat now. So,
well, it's better than jamming fried food down your gullet every single time. I would think that.
Yeah. I loved the club sandwich. Oh man, and I got the same thing every day, and I had it memorized. It was all muscle memory to order it, and so I'd sit there, and there'd be people who've never used an ordering system before, and they'd sit there and they'd be like, "How does this work?" Or "What do I want to use?" And I'm like, there were times where I'm like, "Hey, this is gonna take you like 5 minutes to figure out. Can I order my food? I got places to be. It will take me 30 seconds. I had been timing myself. How fast can I do this? What is the fastest I can?
Where were you doing this at?
Huh?
Where were you doing this at?
Back in college, back on the East Campus Union.
I know, but where?
At the East Campus Union.
Oh.
So they had so after this was like my senior year. It all would have been my senior year. They had finished renovating it, and so they always had their stuff that was different every day. It was like either pizzas or something, whatever. Or you could just have a burger made or like a deli sandwich. That was there every day. Now, that was great. So I had. What?
You know what I just possibly thought of?
What?
I've been on this podcast how many times? 3. Have I been on this podcast 3 or 4 times?
Maybe 4 or 5.
All I can tell you is that I've been on this podcast how many times, and I think every single time that I have been on here, the background or the area that I have been in has changed every time. Because I think the first time I was up at my dad's, the next time I was at my apartment, but I had it set up against the one wall. Then the next time it sat against the other wall. Then the next time I was in the other room.
Oh,
with the
don't
other
forget the time you
apartment.
came here.
And now this time I'm here.
No, yeah, but also don't forget the time you came here.
Oh yeah. So no, that would be 5 times then, because it was I did the one at my dad's, the one where I was in my house office, then the other one I was in my actual office, then it was at your house, and now it's here.
Yeah.
Every time I've been on this, I have been somewhere completely different.
I could have swore it's been 5 or 6. I'd have to go back and
If
look.
it's been 6, then I had at least 2 in the other one.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. But no, I've I've gone back and looked, and I just imagine. Do you remember the old mic you used to use? The little headset. Oh my God, do you still have it? Ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna bring out. I am out of drink. Oh wait, I have drum roll. I have that sound effect back. He can't hear it, but you and I can. Seems like 40.
You mean the State Farm headset?
Yes!
Oh yeah. Dude, this thing is my tried and true. When everything, either these or this goes kaput, this is here at all costs.
Oh my God.
I will never get rid of this. This is like a $40 PlayStation headset that's a USB. I keep this thing everywhere I go.
Oh
it is my default go back to. If something doesn't work, this will.
Oh my gosh.
I keep it in my closet. And I've had to use it before I got this mic.
That's a Yeti, isn't it?
Yeah, I finally caved in and got it. I hate the boom mics, but I've gotten used to it.
You need to get a shock mount. See? I've got a shock mount on mine. This one is not robust enough.
Well, I also got this right back at the time that let's just say I had a bump to my budget because I had just paid off every last bit of my debt.
Ah!
I paid off my cars, I paid off all of my credit card debt, and I still had some money laying around that it's like I needed to get equipment to upgrade what's going on here if I'm going to take anything seriously. And this is what got the cut.
Ah.
So I know I'm missing a couple of things, but it's like they can wait a little bit because I'm still trying to get everything else going. I just bought a graphics card yesterday.
Oh my God, I was gonna ask you about FS25 and frickin' the requirements, but we'll get to that. What the? No, speaking of background change, and you asked me what else am I doing in my retirement. I'm doing Lego now.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell if that was Lego or just models.
They're Lego models. You know. So, this is one of my favorites, the shuttle. I have the Saturn V back there. That was my favorite until I built the shuttle. The only reason why I don't like it as much as the shuttle is because it doesn't. It's too damn long. It doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't fit on my.
He said.
It barely fits on that shelf back there. And then this is the Concorde here.
That looks like the plane where it says where the nose of the plane droops down. The droop went Snoop.
Yeah, the droop Snoop. Yeah, it is. That is the Concorde.
The went droop.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like the plane that does that.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's got landing gear too.
Jeez, it didn't look that long in person.
That's what she said.
No,
that thing.
It didn't look that long on the camera.
That thing's long. I've got that whole
Thing is
shelf.
long.
The one that the Saturn V's on, which you can see, you just can't tell what it is.
Looks like a submarine.
Yeah,
It's a big rocket.
Yeah, it's huge. It's on a whole shelf that's got all kinds of other Lego on it. I was like, there have been a bunch, and I'm still not done. There have been a bunch of sets that I've wanted, and I was like, I'm just gonna, might as well, now that I'm done with YouTube. That's what I'm gonna put my money towards. Of course, once that's done, I was going to buy a nice big telescope, but I'm beginning to realize my computer, which at one point was like top of line, great, is now, AMD almost dropped support for my processor. I'm like, what?
Which one is it?
It's Ryzen 9 3900X. That thing was made in like 2018. That was 6 years ago.
I got like a Ryzen 7.
Huh?
I got like a Ryzen 7 38 or something.
That's what you have.
I know, but what? I thought Ryzen 9 would be like the brand new on top of the line.
No. So, they used to go 975. They've kind of dropped that nomenclature, and it's just more like so now it's, AMD is really bad naming things, but at least with their CPU processors on their desktop platforms, it makes somewhat sense. So 3000, 3000, 4000, 5000. If it's an odd number, it denotes it as desktop. If it's even, that's typically laptop platform. And so 3000 is one gen, 5000 is the next gen, 7000 is the next gen, and then now they're up to, I think they're going to drop 9000 soon.
I say I got a Ryzen 7 5800.
Yeah, so you have
I
the
got a
next
5000.
gen from mine. But fine. But like apparently, so then I'm thinking, okay, I was like, all right, well, originally I was just gonna upgrade my GPU, and power supply, and get another.
How much power supply do you got right now?
Not enough for
Not enough.
it's. I don't remember what the hell is in there, to be honest. I have to go back and rewatch my
Is
video.
it like a 600?
It's probably 6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, I slightly been biting the bullet very slowly to get ready for 25 or just the mods and processing and doing videos in general. So I went from 600 to 1200
Yeah.
because I wanted to prep in case it were to come down to I need the power. Well, over the summer when I did all the stuff and lost the computer and blah 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 blah, they put in a new M.2 for the storage. It's like 2 terabyte storage for M.2, and then what my SSD that used to be the 2 terabyte primary that moved to secondary, and then the hard drive, the Seagate one, 4 terabytes. That's the backup of backups.
Yeah.
And then new motherboard. I kept the RAM that I got because that was 16 gigs or something that I've already had since beforehand, but it's upgraded. And the new CPU. So at this point, the only thing in the computer that had not been modified was the graphics.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a 2060 Super. I've had that since this computer's been in my possession. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we need something that's going to be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, my C drive is always it's 1 terabyte, but it's always fucking it's full, because Windows, every time it updates, it makes a copy of itself. Well, when you already have 500 gigs in there, and it makes a copy of the C drive, you're out of storage. And so I'm like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this. Actually, what really needs to... I'm going to need a new phone at some point. Because Samsung... It's only Samsung, apparently. And nobody... We don't know how to fix it. There's nothing we can do. Samsung just accumulates other files. It's literally called Other. And it just accumulates. I have a 256 gig storage in here. I only have 20 gigs left. 90% of... Not 90. 50%, maybe 60% of my phone's storage is taken up by those other files. I don't know what they are. You can't get rid of them. The only thing you might be able to do is if you backed everything up and factory reset the phone. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I'm like, really? It's not even done with its lifespan yet. I've still got another year or two.
I've had the same phone since I was a senior in high school, and then the phone before that was all the way to my freshman year. And even before that, I think I went for an iPhone. I got an iPhone 4. It was the hand-me-down from my sister. Then I went to a Note 4 because she didn't like the iPhone that she didn't like the Samsung that she got, so she got an iPhone. So I got that, and then I went from the Samsung to an iPhone 7. It was the first phone that I had that was actually mine, not someone gave it to me.
Right.
Or it's you just passed it down. And then I went from the 7 to an SE. And both of them I still have the 7. I actually legitimately for 4th of July this last year, I powered the freaking 7 back on and used it as the radio phone because it's still logged into all of the iTunes and stuff. So I used that phone, plugged it in so it would stay charged. I mean, it's probably the battery life's a little worse than my SE, but I just have it on hand in case something else needs to be done. I need to take a picture, I need a recording, need a second angle. They still work. And if I have it on Wi-Fi, it's a perfectly usable phone other than calling and texting.
So my S9, it was all right. It had a few issues with it. That was the first phone that I bought myself. It was my second phone ever. And it was when I got it, it was a huge upgrade over my previous piece of junk. Of course, I only had the S9 for a few years before Samsung was like, yeah, we're done supporting the S9. Please upgrade. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, as somebody who keeps their banking stuff on their phone, I don't really want to worry about that. So I'm like, all right. So I got the S21. And then Samsung was like, you know what? We're sorry about all the crap we put you through. We'll give it 5 years worth of software updates. And I'm like, all right. Well, there's planned obsolescence anyways, because I'm limping along with 20 gigs of storage. I haven't had a storage problem since my very first phone, which only had 16 gigs of storage on it. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. So, and it's so when I go on trips this summer, I would like to take photos with my phone and take videos, because I'm still going to make vlogs, because those are for my own keepsake. People can watch them on YouTube, whatever. I don't really care. But I'm going to make them for myself. But I don't want to have to carry the goddamn camera around with me, because it's really annoying. I did that on the last trip, and it was really annoying. I'll still have it with me for certain things, but it's really annoying, especially when you're hiking and you need to carry your water. Phone, you always have it on you. It's just in your pocket. And it looks just fine, with my camera. If anything, it might look a little better. It doesn't have the it doesn't have the zoom capabilities that my camera does, but otherwise, it does everything my camera can do. Maybe a little better. There's a few things my camera can still do that it can't do, like long exposures. But anyways, so it's I have no issues using them interchangeably. But now it's for my trip, I've only got 20 gigs. What the that's not enough. Maybe, but probably not.
Don't travel.
We're trying to see all the states, Buck. It's not an option.
Act like it's 1840, where you just don't use your phone to navigate your trip.
Well, no, I mean, I can still navigate. I just can't take any photos with it. It's just I don't want to limp it along until then. But I don't know. I gotta
That part
figure.
I don't really know how to help you with, but yeah, I'm
gotta
still. Maybe in 25, I'll end up getting a new phone finally. I just don't have a reason. The only reason that I have to get rid of my phone is the camera.
Oh
That's
yeah,
literally the only reason that I would need to get rid of the phone or get rid of my phone.
everybody
Because
loves
the
iPhone
battery life,
SEs.
yeah, it sucks, but it's like I have a battery pack. I have ways to charge the phone. It's literally the camera. And the camera is doing fine as it is right now. I just could get better quality.
Yeah,
It's my only reason. So therefore it doesn't make the line.
everybody loves the SE. Oh,
It's still like having my home button. I don't want to get rid of it.
oh. Well, they probably drop security updates for your phone.
Cool.
If you're worried about that
I
kind
don't
of
click
thing.
stupid stuff. I use the phone to watch YouTube. I mean, I got a VPN. I got other stuff that it's like ad blockers, but it's like I don't do as much with my phone anymore like I used to. Like I don't play mobile games. I don't browse for things. I'm not looking for mod files and clicking on random things. Like it's just I don't.
It comes to you,
Yeah.
quite literally. It's no. So back to the computer thing. So what is FS25? What the? Do you know what the hell it's going to require?
Well, I would think by now on Giants Hub they should have the minimum requirements for the game.
Because I've seen
Yeah.
the God rays, and I'm like, it's not RTX, is it? No way, it's RTX.
It says you're going to need at least Windows 10, Windows 11, Mac 11.3, processor Intel i5 6400 or AMD Ryzen 5 1400, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1050 Ti or an AMD RX 470, 3 gigs of RAM, DX12 support,
Oh,
broadband internet, 45 gigs of available storage. Holy cow, this game is getting bigger as the years go on. And internet connection required for online gaming.
oh, that's not bad.
No, Farm Sim as a base game is never the problem. It's when you add mods, that's when the problems start to arise.
Now the 1050, that's a little concerning. I only have a 2080 Ti. That's a little concerning. But otherwise,
1050 is like this, dude. 1050 is like
I know it's ancient and it's junk.
that was what my first graphics card was in my original computer. Like when I ran with a Dell Optilex that had an upgraded interior, it ran with a 1050 Ti.
They didn't give RAM. They didn't give minimum RAM specs.
I think it said 8 gigs. Now you'd probably want. What do you got?
Oh, I have 32. It's not a big deal.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
What you already have is going to be able to run the game.
I
The card that I just bought for the computer to run with what I'm finally doing is a 4070 Ti Super.
Oh my god, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I want to get.
I needed something that was going to be able to record, edit, process, and do everything that I can.
Oh, you don't want to be like Jake and
From
just have
home. Like it's if I didn't have a team, I could justify getting it for the sake of the video quality of the content. But if it helps out in any of the other things, it's like that card needs to take a rest.
Oh, you're not going to be like Jake and just get another computer to record gameplay to?
I would like to do something like that because my buddy Square does it as well for the angles. Like for the sake of me, like when I do my drone shots, it's literally just setting the AI and then I get out and use my controller with very minute movements and I walk the character around in flight mode with the field of view zoomed in. Like that's my drone shots. But with the way Square does it, he sets it up like where you got a character on a tripod. And then his character on the one computer is doing all the work, and then the other guy is just sitting in the corner where you can't really see him, but he's filming the thing. Like it's a great idea, but I don't have the justification to have a whole nother desktop be
Fair.
doing this.
No.
At least I don't have the resources.
Yeah. No, so well, I could play the game. I just don't know if I could do maximum graphic settings. I've got the CPU should be fine. A 1400.
What do you run currently?
Huh?
What do you run currently?
A 2080 Ti.
28. Not
It's
terrible.
old.
It's better, I think it's better than mine. 2060 Super.
Oh, I thought you had a 3060.
No.
Oh.
I got a 2060.
Oh. But now you've got a 4070 Ti, so
I expect that to be miles better than what I did when I looked at the markings. It should be able to fix my problems that I've gotten so far.
I won't be able to I'd have to see how it'll stream things.
Huh?
Well, because if I ever decide, because I still randomly stream. I almost thought about streaming Minecraft today, but all I was doing was grinding villagers, and I was like, that's not entertaining. Nobody wants to see me. Well, maybe people want to see me yell at villagers all day. Maybe. That's all I did today. That's what I did today. There wasn't enough YouTube videos to watch, so
I had both my buddies, Clutch and I can't remember who, Clutch and Nate, just completely dive bomb your stream. You have like 3 people to watch, 305 minutes.
I remember that.
That was a fun day.
That was a fun day. No, yeah, I was
like,
just...
I got you, fam. We're going to get you over the muck.
I was just bitching at villagers all day. Literally just... God, I was trying to get a Fortune 3 villager. And fuck me, that took forever to get. Good lord. It took me like...
Well, what else do we technically have for our topics, though?
Well, we're almost through everything. The last thing is just FS25 in general. Yeah, retirement, writing, Legos, like literally all the topics we're pretty much hit, just kind of through natural flow of conversation.
Very nice.
I've gotten better and worse at podcasting. It's one of those mysteries.
I say we used to get pretty off track back in the early days.
Oh, Phil and I still do. He is terrible about that. I can only imagine what the 200th podcast will look like. But, and we're back. Oh, man. The computer decided it didn't want to be alive anymore there for a second. OBS has a habit of doing that. It's done it once to me before. And apparently it's done it to, I think, you said Nate. It happened to Nate, right? Or was it?
No, it happened to Jake.
Oh, it happened to Jake. I think
that was years ago. That was like the second video we ever made for the county line stuff.
Oh. Well, anyways,
FS25.
So I've seen some footage, and okay, so like the God Ray stuff's cool. But for the most part, I can't really tell the difference between it and FS22. And to be honest, I couldn't really tell. I could barely tell the difference between FS22 and the previous version and FS19.
The same engine. It's the same engine. All they're doing is making fun, like literally the smallest amount of like changes to the the gameplay. It's all of the actual, like, the ground deformation, the water physics, the way the shaders work. The shaders of the game are going to be different now. Hopefully, if they say the fog thing is not, like, permanent. Like, that's not a full-time thing. It's something that just... It'll go away when it's not in the morning, in the wet, and whatever.
Yeah, it's a random weather event, like tornadoes.
It'll be the actual things that'll materialize over the course of the game. I don't expect 25 right out the gate to be this fantastic title. Like, I see it coming out the gate the same way 22 did. When 19 came out, everybody complained that it wasn't as good as 17. When 22 came out, everyone agreed it wasn't as good as 19. Well, let's turn back the clock. 17 still has a lot of great things over 19. But through the course of the game, through modding, updates, dev things, gameplay, whatever, 19 is the superior over 17. Some still might really argue, and I can see those arguments. But 22 by far outdoes 19, only except for one thing:
Which is
multiplayer.
oh, 22
When you
multiplayer.
go back to FS19, 19 and down still used individual servers for all the multiplayer, aka international, international 1, European, Australian. Like they were different servers for different things. In 22, they went to a system that was what forever made it the worst multiplayer experience in any game title history. Everything was under one roof.
What? What? They cut. That's just to cut costs, isn't it? So if you're not in Germany, you're getting screwed over.
Well, they basically made it where everything was just centralized. Like there's no. You would get on the server if you were to start a dedicated server and you were to go in to the multiplayer. There were times that you physically could not find the server for 35 minutes because you can't find it. And then there's back-end problems. Uploading mods was always like limited on the upload speed. I mean, it is just horrible.
Jesus.
It is the worst thing they ever did. But on the contrary, when you look at like the landscape tool, when you look at the sounds, when you look at the way the grass looks on the ground, when you look at how the vehicles act, there's ways that 22 has outdone 19. I expect 25 to do the exact same thing. Right out the gate, it's going to be really hot. Really, everybody's going to get it thinking it's going to be this uber great game. I guarantee you it's going to have a lot of bugs. It's going to have a lot of problems. But by the end of 25, if they keep on this 3-year cycle and we get FS 28, it's going to be the far superior to 22. The mods that come out, the models are getting better. The modding scripting is getting better. We're starting to see those mods that were like back in FS 15, 13 were more realistic or more interactive. The interactive stuff alone has gotten far of what it was in 19.
Yeah. Well, I was watching. I was playing Minecraft and barely listening to what Farmer Crop was doing. But he was doing the helpers, and he was like, "Oh my god, they fixed them. They work." He did.
That is the one thing I am so interested in is the guidance system.
He did
because that
push.
would legitimately fix all of my problems with having to do the recording of setting an AI worker to go do something.
Mm-hmm. He did break it at one point, but he was pushing it to its limits. For what he wanted. I wasn't paying attention to see specifically what he did, but it sounds like this stuff is what they did to it is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the most things that I'd be interested about would be the ground deformation, the guidance steering system, and how the mods work. Because if they go out and they make the mod system the same way it's been for the last, what would it be now, 15 years? Because this game has been around since 2008. They didn't start making the mod stuff really available until 2011. 2011 to 25, it's been the same way. You have to have literally down to the exact same space, comma, letter, lowercase, uppercase in the mod files. If it is not the exact same through and through, you can't play together. If they would just adopt what almost any other multiplayer game that has content like this, we're talking GTA 5, American Truck Sim, BeamNG Drive, however many other games that have modifications like this, they have the cloud sync. Like, it downloads the mod that you need through cloud. Like, you're not actually using, like, they're not on your computer, they're on the game. So you're using the mods in the server, but they're not actually downloaded to your computer. They're just downloaded so you can play the thing. Once you get out of it, you don't have them anymore. If they just adopted that, it would just be, oh my, our servers, you wouldn't even hardly even need to have a dedicated server.
No, you wouldn't.
Because it would make it so much easier.
Right.
But no, they continue to use this same outdated system.
Although
and it
Minecraft
makes our
does the
job a
same
living
thing.
nightmare.
Although Minecraft does the same thing, and I honestly, if they changed it to the cloud thing, I think everybody would complain. But truth be told, there are a bunch of sticklers over there on Minecraft. You touch it the wrong way, they on the Java side, anyways, there will be upheaval, which is funny because it's the smallest set of players, but they have the biggest voices and the most control.
Well, that's why Farm Sim doesn't. That's why Farm Sim mods are so bad because we had that whole. I wasn't a part of it because I honestly could care less. But back in I think it was 2019, they had that Operation Unity, and the modders went on strike against Giants and said, "You better start paying us for keeping your game franchise alive, or we're done." Because the only reason that the game has lasted as long as it has is because of the modding community. You can't tell me that if you were to force to be playing the base game Farming Simulator for 3 years with no mods or just the stuff that you are locked to on the mod hub, which has been a lot more influenced by the modders, what we've gotten over the last 15 years is only because of the people that mod for the game. If it was just Giants team, that game would have been faded out long before where it's at right now. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be as big as a title. But those modders do not get paid. In Giants' term of service, once those CAD files hit their editor, hit their software, that technically becomes their project, their property,
Well, of course.
and you can't charge for them because it's under Giants that it's Giants thing. So you can't charge for something that Giants owns. And people will do Patreons. They will do they'll do pay paywalls, all that stuff, and technically Giants can sue you for that. So they had this whole disagreement, and it ended up just falling apart. Giants just basically said, well, either you get screwed by us, we'll sue you because you're using our stuff, or we just keep going with our day because nothing's going to change. So modders find the ways to get paid, and we just do whatever we do. And people do not, when you got a private mod in a server, you send that out, that is a whole nother hellhole to deal with. I did it once, but I didn't get clarification. The guy never told me that I couldn't do blank. It was one Dodge Ram pickup. And I brought it into a server. I told him, hey, can I bring this into a server with me and my buddy who make YouTube stuff? This time we were just getting started with County Line. It was fine. He said, yes, that's okay. Then Grant Squad joined in. Grant's in the videos. Grant puts this out, his truck's in that thing. Nowhere did Grant ever pay / was in this group to use this truck. So he contacts me and he goes, who'd you go give all this to? And I'm like, it was just my buddy Jake and I. And then Grant joined in and I forgot to ask about him. So this dude hated me and he swapped my name in that group for a year and a half. And then finally we got back on decent terms where it's like, yeah, that was stupid, whatever. But you mess with a private mod or you upload people's stuff. There are people that uploaded files of leaked mods that people wanted, and they put a certain Lua script. This was probably 4 or 5 months ago. They uploaded mods that were people wanted. They put them in their mod folder, and there was a specific Lua file, and I check any mod that does this. It deleted your whole mod folder. So anytime I get a mod that I might have wanted that's from not in like an itch.io, or it's not directly from Facebook, or someone didn't send it to me, I open up the file outside and I check certain folders to see whether or not there's some sort of file that doesn't look right before I will put it in the mods folder. Some of them it's kind of stupid to do too, but in my day and age, I can't risk losing, 250 gigs worth of just mod files?
Oh my gosh, that's too many.
Because I got like 6 different mod folders. I technically should make a backup of these things, but how big is this one? Hang on. Oh, my mod folder's only 136, but still 136 gigs of just mod files.
It's a small amount. It's a small amount. That's going to be expensive in cloud storage, but you could easily get some, hard drives or SSDs and stash them around the place. A few $100. one off site, two on site?
The places that I usually get mods from anymore, it's like when people ask, where do you get mods? I'm like, google.com, duh, google.com, Facebook mods, itch.io. I'm sent them or I make them. Like the people that I'm getting this from are the same people over and over again. Like the Giants mod hub itself is years ahead now of where it used to be. I could logically see back in the day where a console player would be like, why can't we get the cool mods? Like because licensing, because things. Well, now the mod hub's like flooded full with like actual decent mods across the board, whether you're German or American. People have been making better stuff that Giants doesn't have as nearly big of a stick up the rear as they used to. So you can make it be a decent save game with just console stuff.
Okay.
Back in the day, you couldn't do that.
The only mod I ever really wanted to download, and I did, was the developer controls or whatever it was. So you can have
Easy
super
dev.
strength and God mode. Otherwise, I did want a few bits of equipment towards the end there, but they didn't have them in the mod hub. I don't remember what the hell the whole thing was, but I was just, I don't know. I was always, vanilla was good enough. And to be honest, all I did was grind soybeans, because I figured out that you can just grind soybeans, and all you have to do is put lye down every once in a while, and you're good. And you can just make money, and then you just store them, then every, like, 3 cycles, so every time you harvest, this is back in 19, you then could sell them for their highest price at some random place, and then you go through and buy a bunch of stuff. And then you start the cycle over again. And you knew, like, as long as I have this amount of money, I should be able to make it through the next 3 years.
That was a big focus that I made on my mainline series, which was Nebraska. Old School and Nebraska are the 2 series that I finally took serious where I didn't cheat the money. Nebraska's always been kind of like the gifted child of all of them, because it started off with all the stuff that I remember being on my uncle's farm, which was pretty big equipment in reality. But I'm on a map that's 4 times the size of the base game map. Like the base game's 1x. This is a 4x. Like you're going to need the bigger equipment to do these fields, otherwise you're going to be here for 10 years.
Yeah.
But still, at the start of last year, that series was like $250,000 in the hole on a loan that I had not paid back any of to start with. So I took all of the grain that I had from the bins, and I went into the mod files, and I modified what the prices were on this map. Not to get me buku bucks. I dropped them to real-life prices, or close to. Beans right now, in November, are selling for $11, $10.95. Regular beans right now are like $9. Corn's like $3.
Yeah, it's rough right now to be a farmer. You
The corn in mine, it's sitting at like $4.80, $5.02. So it's like $5 corn, still not great. I dumped a whole 1,000-bushel trailer at the flipping elevator, and I only got like $8,000 for the whole thing.
You could just put it into hard mode.
Well, I did. It's on hard mode. It's on start from scratch. All of it.
And it wasn't enough?
No, but if I dry the corn, because the regular corn just on the game right now, like if I were to just cut it out of the field and go sell it, it's like $5 corn, $6 corn. Well, if I go and dry it in my grain dryer and I go to sell it again, it's like $7 or $8 right now. Like the dry corn sells for more. But the soybeans have always been the higher of the 2. So this year's cycle's kind of going to hose me because I did more corn. Like I only had 4 or 5 bean fields to 7 corn fields. But I did all of the work the previous year, or this, because I started by planting. I do this in a seasonal cycle. I finished harvest last year in December.
Right.
And I didn't plant until May or April, whatever the time was in logical calendar year. So now I'm harvesting what I planted back in April. And I did the pH. I did all the lime for balancing of the pH. I did nitrogen work, whether it was through anhydrous or I had to take the sprayer through with all the chemical. And I went from like 145 bushel corn last year. Now I'm pulling 250 in the combine. So it's like I'm doubling the amount that's going in the combine, and it's not even on irrigated ground.
Is there here? Hold on. So is the drying? That's not stock. That's mods, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's what
Dry corn add-on.
They could have added that to FS22, and I wonder FS25. I almost wonder if FS28 will have drying and irrigation, because I feel like now with this water, they're just starting out experimenting with water and with the tornadoes and the weather system. And I just wonder, they're really slow about it, but I just wonder if that will be the next step to add more realism. Will be, okay, you can have dry land or you can not have dry land. There will be droughts, there won't be droughts. Mm-hmm. Or it'll be too wet, which of course I think there already is, right? It can be too wet to plant and too wet to harvest.
It can, but it's only when it's raining.
Oh, yeah. See, that might be the
best
next
version. That the only way that used to be able to, how did they say this? Farm Sim used to be really great with the mods when it came to seasons. Seasons used to be a mod. The only reason that Seasons was a base thing in 22 is because they took the guy who made the mods to make it for 22. But his input was not fully taken. Because if you go to FS19 and play the Seasons version of it versus 22, that is one of the biggest ups for 19 over 22. Because Seasons in general, in 22, you can't like cut grass and let it dry. In 19 with Seasons, you could cut a field of grass, sit it outside like the fermenting silos for a day and a half or something, 24-hour cycle, and it would dry to hay. You didn't have to have the tedder. Well, in 22, you still have to buy the tedder, even though it's Seasons. The crop will grow like regular. Like the crop will follow the seasonal unless you turn off seasonal growth. And then you have to do the whole thing. Like it's missing all of the features that it had in the mod form because they shortcutted it in the game form. So I feel like the tornadoes and all this stuff, it's going to be more of an annoyance than it is an actual productivity thing.
Well, you could turn that.
It's going to be great because you're going to have to replant. But at what point is it's like, okay, well, why can't we? It's a game based on farming. Why can't we water our plants? It's a game based on farming. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you can water the rice.
You can.
You can do that. Maybe we'll get cranberries next time, or maybe that'll be a
cranberry. I'm gonna make a cranberry ad video.
You honestly, so with the water physics in there, and now you can have rice paddy fields. I wonder if somebody will implement cranberries.
There's a really good possibility that would be something.
It might be difficult. I don't know, because cranberries are harvested by hand. To my knowledge, I don't think they have any big machines that go and. Because I know they have machines that go and wick them off the bottom, let them float to the top, but I don't think those machines actually harvest them either. So
that stuff I would have no idea because that gets into all the dev work and actual programming, and I don't know any of that.
Yeah,
that's above my pay grade.
So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll get cranberries. We get all kinds of weird stuff. They got all kinds of weird crops in FS25.
I know we finally got carrots in 22, and I'm like, why?
Why?
Like, I don't. Like, we get carrots, but we don't get rye.
Oh my god! I forgot rye's still not in the game. We got spinach and
people
peas.
Have made it in the game if you get like a multi-fruit map or something where somebody incorporates it. But base game, there's so many crops. You got so many, even just in the U.S. alone, like corn and soybeans, that's our territory. But even around here, you still got people that do walnuts, you got people that do garden things, there's peanuts, there's vegetables, there's...
Peanuts are
if you can think about it, then there's someone that's able to grow it.
Well, the U.S. is pretty self-sufficient. on food. It may shock people, but because of greenhouses and hothouses, the U.S. is actually surprisingly more self-sufficient than you might think. We still import food, but like not to the amount that you would think. We can keep, not bananas. You have to import bananas, but like there are certain things you can, like an orange. You can have an orange all year round.
Well, that's the best part about the U.S. When the state of Texas, if you tilt it just the right way, you could drive from Paris, France, almost down to Rome, Italy, and still be in Texas. Like,
Texas.
we have so much land that has such different environments that you can literally grow about anything within border to border of the country.
Texas is insane. It's insane. Texas is. I don't even want to know. But
okay, so from my front door to get to San Antonio, Texas, to get literally to the what is it? The Tower of Americas to my front door is 15 hours.
Yep.
7 of that is Texas.
Yep.
7 of that is Texas.
Texas has the highest mile markers for an interstate in the entire country at like 890. I checked an atlas one time because I was curious, so I opened up an atlas and I was like, okay, we'll look at Alaska, California. I got the Texas and went, oh, oh, never mind.
California is not that big of a state if you're trying to go left to right, but if you're going top to bottom, holy crud, you'll be there for years.
I will say, left to right is still a challenge because of the stupid mountains. It's not that far. You could do it pretty easily, but the mountains just if you're not on the interstate, oh my god, it's horrible. We had to do that. It's horrible. Never drive in the mountains. Never do it.
Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico, north side. Off the list.
We've been to the same part of New Mexico. I've been a little further
I'm gonna
south.
go to Colorado City, New Mexico. No, Colorado City. No, Colorado City, New Mexico, or Arizona. It's one of the two. It's very, 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 very top.
Yeah, no, we've been all the way down to Albuquerque, so almost the center. Of
Did you take that left turn at Albuquerque?
Yes, we did.
All right, you're doing better than Bugs Bunny. Don't buy a GPS from a vending machine.
That's from the Looney Tunes show. Bugs
Never
Bunny.
buy a GPS from a vending machine.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny brain rot. Oh my! I saw that today in an Instagram comment. Made me laugh.
Are you not wearing pants?
What parts? I don't remember that one. Oh yeah,
That's the one when he throws the can over the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
He's got the book of 101 Grand Canyon jokes. 1,001 Grand Canyon jokes.
Oh my god!
Well, if you don't like that one, I got 1,000 more.
Oh my! That episode is one of my favorite episodes of all time. When they get arrested, sent to
We're up the river. We're down the creek. We're 2 bricks short of a loan. You got to fight for your right to party. Guy sits down at the table. Party's over.
Oh my god, that was a great episode, and Bugs didn't want to.
I can smart off to somebody and not get in trouble for it? Man, I should have went to jail years ago. It's a smart Alex paradise.
I'm like, that's not how that works in real world, but yes, in Looney Tunes, yes. Unless you're out in the yard, and Caveman breaks his chain and comes chasing after you.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's crazy they don't have rye. And now with productions like rye bread, like everybody loves rye bread. You could have marble rye. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Why don't
It's
they
giant.
do they just not want to add it because it's not a very unique crop? It would look like all the other grain crops.
It's giants.
Fair.
Let me tell you a little story about Giant Software.
Oh boy.
Giant Software, the company that locks down so many brands in the agriculture industry that they secure these guys under contract, and then When they get them, they don't even put half the stuff that they got the licensing for in, but no one else can get them. They get licensing to brands like Kinsey, Unverferth, Kubota, Vermeer, all these wonderful companies that make multiple different things that you can do and use in an agriculture standpoint. And what do? Put in the one thing that you're probably never going to use from them. They had licensing to Kinsey, they had licensing to Unverferth. Like, Unverferth as a company has a lot of different branches. Mm-hmm. You got Killsbro, you got Top Air, you have Blue Jet, you have, the list goes on. What do they do with that? In 19, they had a seed tender. You could put seed in one hopper and fertilizer in the other, and then somebody came out with the mod. You could do fertilizer in both or seed in both, whatever you want. You run it behind the planter, and the ones that have the big seed tanks on top, you dump the seed into the top of it. They had the same licensing from 19 to 22. You had to download the seed tender as a mod. It never came base game, but they have the license to put it in. They get licensing to Kubota. Kubota has how many different things? Mm-hmm. They put in like the 5 worst things besides the big tractor and the side-by-side. Vermeer was the worst. Oh. Vermeer has wood chippers. Vermeer has all of this industrial equipment. The ag side of things. What do? They put in a baler, another baler, a rake, and that's it. Not even a wood chipper. Like, wood chipper, that's... Farm Sim has forestry. Put in the BC 1000. It's the most basic thing that everybody buys. They made it a mod.
Oh, of course.
And then I put a better set of wheels on it because it was a piece of crap.
Oh.
Fun fact. Vermeer's second largest wood chipper they make, the BC 2100, has a John Deere motor in it. And then they had a recall like 3 years ago with the entire wiring harness when I worked at a dealer that did those. And they had to take apart the entire wiring harness on this thing. It was like a week-long project for every one of them. There was like 70 that went through that shop.
Is it? I guess the wood chippers are... no, it's a recall. Never mind.
It wasn't that many. But there was at least, I remember like 12 to 15 of those things going through there. And each one of them took at least a minimum of 4 days. Because you have to lift out the whole... rotor and spindle. I mean, they gutted that thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But it's cheaper for a company to, find out there's a problem with it later than it is to find it out ahead of time. I don't understand how, but apparently it is.
Well, when you release the product, it's a lot easier to just say it's a great product and then fight the backlash later.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about running tests, though. I mean, I guess if the customers... Apparently, it's cheaper to just replace the products that do break, which probably aren't that many, and then, versus dealing with the... Yeah, so I guess. Economic standpoint, somewhere it makes sense, but that's not my... Well, it is my expertise, but I'm not the one that figured that out.
I'm just a guy that works with a dude that sells soap.
Grant sells soap now? Who sells soap? Oh. Sold Andy Green. Andy Clean Fun. Good Clean Fun, huh?
Oh, come on now. Don't do that to me.
Gotta love webcams, right?
Well, what's actually nice is that's like a $40, $50 webcam. I need to get another one of those because I bought one that sits on my side. That's my wheel camera. There's a reason it was on sale. Biggest piece of dog crap I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to make it work. I thought it was good. It started off all right, and then I realized that this thing is junk.
I wish they would just figure out how to do I wish they would just make webcams that would have, multiple outputs. So you don't have to like open one program, use it there. But if you open up the programs in the wrong order, like OBS, I guess maybe it's just me being lazy and not wanting to set up another profile in OBS. Because then I have to mess with all the audio settings again. Where I just don't have the webcam. It's just screen recording and audio recording. But that's a lot of work. Like, legitimately a lot of work. I don't want to do that. But, oh well. But anyways. Well, your final thoughts to all the kiddies out there looking to ask their parents, Mama, can I get FS25?
I'm not an ATM. Don't ask me for money. I would say it's a game that...
It's a game.
If you're going to be looking to get it, don't expect it to be perfect right out the gate. Anything that we have made or is done in present day time, it's going to have its problems. So wait a little bit to maybe get the brand new game if you already have the old one. If you don't have any of them, go ahead and get it, but know it's going to have its problems.
Right.
If you're looking to start making content on said things, this is the time to do it.
Right.
Farm Sim is a quarter 4 game. If you are trying to make content on it, quarter 4 is where you make your views. It is where you make your money. It is where you do the best.
That's like literally all of YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
That's because
It's
the
all
ad
advertising.
revenue's like, it's
Nate,
Christmas
I can't remember
time.
who told me. I think Nate told me this. And it kind of like, it made me feel good, but it made me feel also like, oh, so I didn't really do what I thought I did. October this year has blown out the water what I did last year in December. Like doubled.
Okay.
And it's only the first month of quarter 4. So now, going into November, December, I want to see if I can beat October and also beat November. Because my goal by the start of 25 is to be out of debt, money in the bank, whether it's investments, savings, or this is the OF fund rather than just a F fund. Like
F fund.
FU money versus OF money. I need to have an OF money stash before I can start having FU money.
Ah. Right.
But it's not like I'm sitting here with millions of dollars. Like I'm still in a regular almost 9-to-5 thing, but my debt to income ratio now has balanced itself. I haven't done that or made that happen since I was making stupid money and I was doing stupid things with money.
Oh.
Because there was one time I was making almost $7-8 grand a month.
That is stupid money.
And you know what I did with it?
Stupid things. I'd do stupid things too. I'd dig a hole.
Yeah, the hardest one was the time when I was doing taxes last year, and I looked at the fact that the previous year before, yeah, in the month of May alone, I dropped like 9-10 grand just in 1 month.
That's a lot of money, Buck. That's a lot of money.
And you know what happened a month later? I'm like, oh, you stupid idiot. If only you knew. And that's when I lost everything. And it was horrible until October, when I decided to get my head in gear a year and a month ago, to start actually building a brand, actually building a community, actually working on this channel, and putting forth the time and effort that it needed to do to make the business full time. YouTube picked me. I did not pick YouTube. I will tell people that year in, year out.
What a
Sometimes things just pick you. You just have to do it. Well, I've made it now where it's, if I can do everything right, I can play my cards, I'll be all right. My system is the way it works because, I mean, at this point, the 100,000, I would have to have 2 months back to back that would pull 3,500 subscribers a piece. That's not unfeasible, but it's improbable because I've only been averaging the last couple months like 1.9 to 2.3. So you would have to have November, December pull 3,500 to get 7,000 because it's 7,000.
75% increase.
Huh?
So that's a 75% increase.
And with the new game coming out
Should be
and
fun.
everything that's going with Q4, it's possible. Like I said, it's not like it's unreachable, but I see the goal of it happening. There's no way it doesn't happen after February. Like February is the where I'm going right now. By February 1st, I should have the 100. That's the way business looks,
Woo!
unless something changes. So I need to plan for business like I'm going to make it. Like I'm just basically I'm just going lights out. I'm playing lights out until 25 hits. I'm going to keep the momentum going into to 2025, but we're going to hit Q1. First week and a half, 2 weeks of January, not too bad. But like Nate was saying, with what we're doing right now, we're in election year. No wonder October beat out December last year by however much.
Oh, yeah.
We're fighting all the political ads and the holiday ads. Halloween, Christmas, all of them.
Oh my god, the political ads are insane. I was watching daytime TV waiting for freaking Teal Haas to get my goddamn tires, get my oil changed. Good. Never again. I'm never going back to them. And I was sitting there watching Jeopardy. There were no regular ads. It was literally 3 minutes of just not 3 minutes. It was just solid political ads. I'm like,
yep.
What?
But that's why the ad revenues have been so high. It's an election year. They are trying so badly right now to get that. Makes perfect sense as to why October went through the roof. I mean, it's like I'm getting roughly the same amount of views. I'm getting more, but it's like I'm getting pretty close to the same amount of views as I did the month prior. And the revenue is just like...
Yeah, and because of Osborne and Harris needing Omaha, like she needs Omaha, the amount of crap is just being dumped into the state for ads is insane. Like, there's never political ads in Nebraska. Never. Just your local crap. There's never a Democrat ad. There's a few Republican ads for, like, the president, but now it's just back and forth, and you're like, what the fuck? I've never seen that before. We might as well be in a swing state. I would hate to live in Pennsylvania or Michigan. Mm-hmm. Those poor fuckers.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But even then, it's like I was laughing because, well, now, as of tomorrow, political ads will drop off the map. Like, we're not getting the election money anymore.
Yeah.
But in theory, we're also hitting the height of now Christmas season because Halloween's out the door. It's now Christmas time. Thanksgiving doesn't exist. Like, it's just going to be pumping. December's going to be the most besides October. December is going to be the next highest month because it's 25 days to Christmas. Here comes the Hallmark.
Right.
But even with November in general, we're not going to see as big of a drop as I think we are because of the momentum from election year. Now we're going into Christmas. And everyone's going to be looking for deals. Everybody's going to be doing this. Everybody's looking to that. We're starting to get into the holiday breaks. So we're still going to be seeing, if we don't see the ads being paid as much, we're going to see that at least the views go up.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna balance itself. I still suspect this month might be a bit more of a challenge to retain what I did from last year, from last month, but that's the plan. Like, I'm literally looking at what I do now as a full-blown business because I have to.
Right.
And it's been better. I've been doing better. You're still stressed. You're still doing whatever, but compared to what I was doing last year, I'm happier.
That's great.
A lot better off. I'm smarter with what I do. I don't look at stupid ads. I don't do side things. I'm like, I told somebody that was trying to do a sponsorship, I'm like, I don't get very many. I might check my email for it once or twice a week. And maybe on the third week after looking at that, somebody's like, hey, you want to do this, advertise a game. I'm like, if I can't put a face to your name that's sitting on here, and I can logically say I'm going to use your product, I have no real need to work with you. It's not that you're a bad person, but I could really give a damn about League of Legends. Like, I could give two shits. Your 30-second to a minute advertisement is not going to do any favors to my channel. It's going to kill my views. because I only upload 2 to 3 times a week. Like, your minute ad is going to kill those viewers. And you're like, you want it in the first 3 minutes because that's where the most people watch. Well, usually they'll click off the video when they see something like that. So you just killed all of my things. So you have to pay me like however much just to make up for what that's going to kill in the long run. That's why I like Andy. That's why I like Prairie State Tractor. That's why I'm working with, to start at 25, I'm going to be working with a server guy, Pocket Host. He's one of the founders of G Portal. So it's people that I've talked to them in person, or I've talked to them like this, where I could see their camera, I could see their face. And whether the deal goes not really bad or just we kind of fade off from each other, I still go to the shows with Andy. I go to these trade shows with him. I see Marty when I go over to Illinois. It's like we all hang out. Like,
right.
They become a part of the family. So when I bring them up, people don't click off. They're just like, oh yeah, let's get these guys going. They drop the stickers in the chat. It is what it is. I look at people and I look at this channel and it's going, I'm not the average person because I'm me. I'm me behind the camera. Like, I could care less if you don't like the fact that I don't like blank, or I run my system as who I am. Cool. Right. If I have to make 4 people mad to appease the masses, I'm going to dwindle that out. Like, that's the goal. Even if they're bigger than me. I had to leave my big boy Grant because he had other priorities. I couldn't do anything stably. He'd take 6 hours to do something that takes 2, but he has so much more on his plate. I had to stop working with Jake. I had to stop working with Austin. I had to just do this where I can work on blank. I hit the 100K, literally besides the very first video being recorded by Austin, from day one to now has been a one-person operation. That's 5 years in the making, right. But you still don't just get to 100K by messing around I was handed the keys to a Ferrari, but I was told to keep the Ferrari on the road. There's a difference between getting it handed to you and then only keeping handed it to you because they keep supplying, and you're given it, but now you actually have to take care of it. It's like if you were just basically given an infant and said, all right, raise it. Huh?
Oh. The fat cat memes. Oh. Oh my god. That was one of my favorite freaking memes during the summer, was the fat cat meme. Still is. Huh? Just oh. Oh my god. There was this one where it's like you're in physics class and it's just like the professors that go going and there's the one cat going meow, meow, and there's the other guy going and there's the guy in the back going oh. Oh.
Teacher just explains the entire lecture. The guy goes through the entire list of what needs to be fixed. You,
oh
such a simple sound. I think we basically at this point have covered all the bases. I mean, it's we both got our own paths that we've had to do. You decided that it wasn't really justifiable to continue on with the path of what we're doing. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I wish you the best in the writing career and everything that you want to try and push forward with that. I mean, it's like from my end of it, I mean, I got to keep pushing on what I do. I can't leave the path now. Like, I've gotten too invested.
You're in too deep.
At this point now, it's like what was the saying that I heard the other day? It was like, basically, I just got to give it hell at this point. I got to play lights out.
I did have a video idea though. First time in forever, but it was one of those videos ideas that only works when YouTube is your job. And that was, how long can you sleep outside? You know, or like originally it was like, because there's, you always see the 100 days in Minecraft challenges or 100 days this, 100 days that. I was like, 100 days sleeping outside. I was just like, that'd be sick, but I at least have to have a house. I have a backyard to sleep in.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, but that would also that's the thing that sucks about this job. Like that's the thing that really just sucks about YouTube in general. Is you'll have certain people that would make a video like that, and it's the very first video that would ever go on their channel. They have absolutely nothing. I mean, maybe they had like a film degree or something, so they knew what they were doing. But
Right.
if you had somebody that just pieced together a video, say it was a 4.5 hour video that showcased 100 days, what they did, how they survived, how they did something, and that one video, millions of views,
Oh yeah.
couple hundred thousand, like a couple hundred thousand, they could literally do it in one video. The shorts are what ruined YouTube in reality. They downsize all these play buttons now because there's so many people that are ripping off other people's content or people that are making the little contents that you can't compete with.
Well, Mr. Beast
I mean, they
talked
got like
about
all the
like
stupid cheat tools now.
Mr. Beast talked about back in the day. There were videos that there were ideas that would be that make a full video and make a good 10-minute video. But now, no, that's a short. It's too small. And it's still stupidly freaking big for what most people can do. But because of the how vicious things have gotten, he's like, it's gotta be a short. I'm like, and then someone like me who doesn't have, the attention span of a fish and is willing to sit down and watch an hour-long video, I'm like, and this thing it's awesome. This short comes up, and you're like, "Oh, this is a really cool concept. I wish you had done an entire video."
Mm-hmm. And it's heartbreaking because in reality, there's the one guy that somebody sent me a video one time where it's like, "Oh, how I got 1 million subscribers in a year," and the entire video is just him going, "Stop making content that's in landscape, make it in portrait, and just make content that's shorts." It's like, okay, well, that's still even wherever you're at, whatever your channel or whatever you're doing is based on, you have to have the algorithm in your favor.
Yeah.
Like your shorts with the Neil deGrasse Tyson trying to get him on your podcast for however long. It's like it sucks because you have an audience that you're trying to pitch to. You do all of your stuff that you've been doing for how many days? I mean, you're on what, like day 400 something now?
I was at 500 when I quit.
500.
500.
500 days. 500. And you started that because I told you to go just make something with the shorts on it. Like right when it came out the gate, it worked. But then
Yeah.
the repetitiveness of the thing, like it's hard to think of 500 days worth of content.
Oh yeah.
But even then, the system is not going to like you because it, you're just not what they want to post.
Nope. Nobody
There's
wants
just
to
some
learn
people that it
something.
just doesn't
People want
like.
to brain rot.
Huh?
People don't want to learn something. They want to brain rot. That's all it is.
So I mean, even in the videos that I used to, I look back at some of the stuff that I did. I took things way too literal. There was the one video to this day. I mean, it's one of my top performing videos too, but it hurts because I went and redid it again for a specific video. There is the video where I did all of the farming with the drain tile in Farm Sim. I went and remade all these CAD models where I'd make a plow that's supposed to put the plastic pipe in the ground. It doesn't actually do it because I don't know how to do all the scripting. So I just made it basically a giant plow. A 1-row plow. And then the cart, I made the thing you could just drive the whatever, pick it all up. It worked. It's like an 85,000 view video. It's 40 minutes long.
That's probably why
Buddy,
I
I
have so
went
many
back
views.
and made that into I made it into one of the big year-long videos that the mega cuts, they call them. It's shortened down to like 15 minutes. That's how much dead space and not needed stuff was in there to how I edit stuff today. It hurt to watch that.
People were vibing back then.
No, I watch back those contents on those videos, and that editing sucked.
No, but I mean,
Way
people
too
should
much
just
dead
vibe
time,
with
way
it, I guess,
too much
though.
just me blabbering. Oh, it was bad.
Oh my god, you watch me play my Minecraft Let's Plays are just me babbling.
It's
The
like
early ones.
that was probably the closest video that I ever had, and I remember it was a long piece of footage. Like I edited it down, but that video felt like the only one of the videos I've ever made where it was basically uploaded as raw footage.
Oh, wonderful.
I still make content now. Like I've been trying to do it where the minimum on a video is 20 minutes, and it gets kind of hard sometimes, but the longer the video is, the better chance you have to at least have people that will watch for longer, even if the video doesn't pull as many views.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's a weird thing with YouTube. It's like shorts get lots of views, but like watch time still pays, and there are still lots of people that are willing to watch a 40-minute video. I am one of them. I will sit down and watch an hour-long video. I love it. It's like, come on. When a video's over in 10 minutes, I'm like, what? Well, now what the fuck do I do with my time?
Yeah.
You know, I want,
And that's
if
where
it's
I
good,
always
I
tell
want more.
everybody, because there's the people that want to start these YouTubes and get going and have this stuff. I'm like, the worst thing you guys could do was the way I started. Like Jake, when Jake started, he at least had a channel with some videos, some content. When we actually got going with Grant, he had like 4 or 5 videos that we already put together.
Right.
Like there is stuff for people to watch. I had nothing. 0. Jack diddly squat. I didn't have a banner. I didn't even have an icon. And if it was my Google thing. Like it was the Yo Mama guy. The dude, the big ripped dude in the pink shirt. Like that's what my Gmail thing used to be. So Mr. Boomnastic with the freaking guy, and he's like holding the Pac-Man thing. That was what it was. I had no content, no
I'm just
nothing.
laughing.
When I already had like 2,000-3,000 subscribers in the first week, and I didn't even have a video.
You were a junior in high school. You didn't know what the fuck's going on.
Hell, I think I was younger than that. I think I was a freshman.
Were you a freshman?
But even then, still, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. None. I've been working with Jake since I was like 7th, 8th grade. And now I'm 4 years out of high school. I'm like, damn, time flies.
Ugh. Don't talk to me about it. I'm 6 years. And I'm 3 years out of college. I don't. That's a scary statistic. I'm like, what?
If I went to a 4-year university when I graduated high school, I would be in my senior year right now.
You'd be getting ready to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do
But
it.
I didn't.
If you can do it in 4 years, most people can't.
Yeah.
Or choose not to, anyways. Then there's me, who said, "Want to bet?"
Hello, skid.
Man, I remember my die-cast skid steer.
I about grabbed the bigger version of it sitting right there, but I picked the little guy.
It liked to fall
This
apart.
would be my tractor time implement for the week.
It was a very my skid steer one was like very intricate. Like you could pull the engine out, not the engine, but the radiator, the side panels.
The what?
Like the skid steer that I have at my parents', you could open up the back, you could pull the radiator out, pull the side panels off. You could pop up the actual cab itself like it does in real life to reveal the underpart, the underparts there. It was a surprisingly high detailed. Oh yeah, but that's the that's the newer style though. Do your sides come off though in the back? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the yeah.
I don't think I could take the radiator out on this one though.
No, so mine was one of the old styles where you had a hinged door in the back, and then you could pull the radiator out. Does your cab pop up though?
The cab, I'd have to, I think, unscrew something, but yeah, it would tip forward.
Oh yeah,
No,
mine.
it would tip backwards. It tipped like this.
Yeah, well, mine. All you had to do was move the joysticks into the correct position, because it was back when they had two joysticks.
2 joysticks. Like it's got the bar that goes up and down on it for the safety.
Oh, it didn't. This didn't have that. It was like my dad's, which doesn't have the bar. It's just a seatbelt, and you've. Oh yeah. Although they made the clips for that out of plastic, and so my bucket, because of how heavy the die-cast metal was.
That's what these are. They're just plastic.
Oh yeah, no, this thing was metal, and so it broke the clips. Because it was so goddamn heavy. And, I was a child. I wasn't exactly the most delicate person. But
This
anyways.
is probably one of the heavier die casts that I have that's just compact. It's not really light by any means.
No, yeah. Yeah. Does yours have a fork?
Yeah, they're back up behind that tractor.
Pallet forks, yeah. Anyways. We are like 2 hours. So. Oh, man. Well, if I don't have to go to work tomorrow, I guess I have something to do. Anyways. I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Why not? 2 more podcasts.
For old time's sake.
For old time's sake, right? Buck, thank you for coming on. Thanks for all your wisdom and everything you've done for me over the years. I may always make a return. You never know. Weird things happen. You spend 100 days out in your yard. You never know what happens.
Go find something.
You spend 100 days out in your yard and dig a hole. Next thing you know, you're making YouTube videos again. And good night.